It will keep on changing. What you think you have mastered, you find out you don't know anything tomorrow. So we open our heart to learning. We don't stop learning in life. We don't stop in everything. We don't stop learning. If you really want to sustain the progress of your life, you don't want to find yourself stagnated, you open your heart to learning. Every time, look at how much you are learning, how much you are learning, how much you are getting. You can actually list it down. I think I'm learning a lot in this area. Just think, how many areas do we need to study when it's simply, you know, I studied about the deity of God. Did we go into the deity of God? Not at all. We talked about the divinity of God. Did we look into the divinity? Not at all. In fact, God alone, it will not be enough for man, regardless of how long you live here, to finish him. There is no way man can exhaust learning God. You can't write enough about him. And he say, these books that I've written about God explains everything about him. Then God is too small. If you can confine him into a letter in a book, then God is too small. Which means as long as we are alive, we are into a journey to know him. And we will never know him until we get there. That's why we shall know when we see him. There are things and layers of his glory that are impossible to be discovered while we are in the human body. We can only know those layers of glory when we look at him and our bodies are translated. Because in the body, the weakness of our flesh does not allow us to learn those dimensions of God. They are too much for a man who is cast in the flesh to understand him in that way. So we keep on learning about him. We keep learning about him. And you don't stop learning about God.
Give a shot!
Because it means I knew is not enough to help them. I need to upgrade my revelation. I need to upgrade my revelation so that I can be a voice of today. Otherwise, my generation will be the generation that has passed. Yes. Some people die while they are living. They die because they don't know. Yes. You die while you are living because you are not taking good care of yourself. You are not taking good care of yourself. You need to keep on updating yourself. You know what God said in Exodus 6? He said, this name was I not known. To who? Papa Abraham. He says, today, if Abraham stands today, he will tell you about this name. But this name that I'm revealing to you, Moses, Papa Abraham didn't know. Just think, we are dealing here with Abraham, but God limited his revelation to him. In Exodus. So Abraham did all what he did by that revelation that he had about God as Adonai. But he didn't know him as Jehovah. He knew him as El Shaddai. He knew him as Adonai. But he didn't know him as Jehovah, the all-sufficient one, the all-sufficient God. And God says to you, Moses, because of the generation and assignment I'm giving to you, you can't run with the revelation that I revealed to Abraham. You will not be able to deal with the spirits that have upgraded themselves. We have been dealing with this, that when the spirits are taken out from a person, when they are coming back, they study and measure the strength and understand why they were weakened at the first place. So when they want to enter again, they gather the most wicked demons and come and enter. The demons we are dealing today are not the demons that Kenneth Hagin dealt with. It's good to understand where we come from, but you cannot stuck in the past. You have to progress. You have to progress. There will be things that you look into, like I don't know which day she was showing me of one of the person that we really admire so much. So much. We really admire so much. I've read his books like crazy. Everything that I found in the bookshop about his name, I picked it to read about him because he was an amazing man, a man of faith. The experiences you read about him are just mind-blowing. But he showed me what is written there. And I said, no. It's what God revealed to him then. But not the way we know God today. But here's where now, when I said to her and clarified, something hit me immediately. If this is how he knew God, which is less than how we know him today, but he experienced God in this way, what are we doing with what we know today? Because these people didn't know much about God. But the little that they knew about God, they experienced God in a deeper way. That if we talk about the experiences, today our hair stands tall. Because we can't really understand how a man can walk with God in that way. But we claim today to know much. What are we doing with what we know? Okay. I believe we are losing a learning spirit, a child-kind spirit, that we come to God to learn, to take just as it is. Mary said something very powerful in St. John chapter 2:15. Do you know what he said to the disciples? Whatever he tells you, just do it. In other words, there will be crazy stuff that this man will say. It was like he knew the way he does things is not normal. He would do something that will make these people say, question and ask, what is this? How does these things happen? So he prepared them. Whatever this man says, just do it. Just buy. It was actually the water that they go and draw it. And he says, when you draw